In today's video, I'm sharing with you how to live slowly this spring. Let's get right into it. Okay, friends, really quickly before we jump into the video, I wanted to address something that I mentioned in yesterday's video where I said that I was going to be talking about why I've been having such a hectic, busy week this week. And unfortunately, I don't talk about it in this video. I actually have talked about it in a different video that is coming out next week. So you'll hear about it more next week. I'm sorry to be so elusive and mysterious about it, but it is associated with my Slowing Down with Art series videos. And if you've seen any of those videos, you know that I'm kind of like on a journey there. And so that whole explanation is part of that journey. So thank you for your patience there. More to come very, very soon. But we are talking about spring in today's video because we have just entered the spring season just a couple of days ago. And I thought it would be helpful to share some ideas with you so that you can start living slowly this season. I'm a big fan of seasonal slow living. And if you don't know what seasonal slow living is, it's essentially, I don't think I came up with this idea, but it's something that has kind of naturally been a part of my slow living journey because it has just come up along my slow living journey. But for me, seasonal slow living is embracing seasons for what they are, actually practicing things that are associated with the season so that I can enjoy that season for what it is and enjoy that period of time. It kind of came up for me because I don't like some seasons, and I really didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that I was spending a huge chunk of my year simply being, I don't know, cranky because I didn't like that particular season. And so I came up with this whole seasonal slow living thing, at least I think I did, in my way at least, so that I can embrace those seasons a little bit more. And it allows you to embrace life a little bit more. So that's a quick rundown as to what seasonal slow living is. And of course, we're talking about spring in particular. And I have a bunch of resources for this already. So I'm going to try and be super refreshed and super new in this video to hopefully not be redundant. But the two resources that I have, or three actually, I have a video like this before on the channel. If you scroll back to last year, I have a video exactly like this, so you can check that one out. Another one is my spring bucket list. So it's a completely free customizable Notion template that has a spring bucket list in it. There's a bunch of different ideas that are very seasonal specific, and I put in my little notes and customizations in there. All you have to do is click on the link, copy it to your Notion, and then you can customize it however you want. You can erase things, add things, edit things, whatever you want to do. So I will have that link below. And then the third resource that I have is a blog post, and it's 5 ways to start slowly embracing the spring season. So just another added resource to this video and all of the other things that I talked about, and I will link everything down below. But let's jump into today's video. I have 5 different ideas for you, and the first idea is to jot down what you appreciate about this season. This is really, really important to do first and foremost, especially if spring is not your favorite season. We kind of have to sit down and think about what it is that we do like about the season, or something that we can at least appreciate and respect for the season. And that is going to help us get into a good mindset, a good open mindset for all of the following things that I'll be talking about in today's video, as well as the other resources that I mentioned. Try to be as specific as possible with your associations with the seasons. I can be a little bit stereotypical here. I think it kind of works when it comes to spring because a lot of us associate specific things with spring. I'm thinking about flowers. I'm thinking about warmer weather. I'm thinking about spring cleaning, things like that. And of course, you don't have to have the same associations as I do, but start thinking in that sense. Try to list down at least 5 things, but maybe sit with yourself for 5 minutes and try to list as much as you possibly can and dig deep, get creative, and start to see where your mind wanders to. I promise you, this is already going to set you up for success because you're already practicing a way in which you're appreciating the season for what it is. The next idea is to start opening your windows to get some air in. So this is really good in a practical level because we've had our windows closed for many months. It has been cold for many months. And so to open up our windows, we're really letting out anything that has been settled inside of the house, which is really good for your health, your overall well-being. So I think it's really important that you do that. But it's also a small way for you to start embracing slightly warmer weather. You're going to start opening the windows and feeling the actual weather outside as opposed to, not necessarily feeling how it feels outside when we have all of our windows closed and we have the heat cranked up for the wintertime. So that allows us to start embracing the nice chill in the morning, but that kind of turns into a bit of a warm, sunny day. And I think that's a fantastic way to get very, very started at the very base level of spring. I did this last year. I started opening my back door, and there's like a screen door outside of my actual door. And so I was able to keep the door open all the time and let air and sunshine come in a very subtle way. And I would sit in the kitchen every single morning, and it really allowed me to appreciate spring weather so much. I used to not really care for spring weather, but that practice is something I cannot wait to do because it really did make a huge difference in my morning routine, and I'm very excited. It just shows that a little simple practice can make a huge impact. I'm already looking forward to it, remembering how I felt last year. Okay, the next idea is to take walks outside and listen to birds. I know I talk about body movement all the time. I know I talk about getting outside as much as possible all the time. But the twist here is that I would love for you to go outside. Don't put your headphones in. Don't look at your screen. Don't, talk to someone on the phone or FaceTime someone while you're walking. Try to disconnect from your screens as much as possible and really keep your ears out for birds singing. It's something like like a dopamine effect. I don't know if I'm using the right term there, but it really does make me super happy when I start to hear the first songs of birds when spring arrives. I don't know, there's just something about it that makes me smile immediately, and I've started to hear it already through my windows, and I'm really excited. I am just so optimistic about spring. I have to say, spring is used to be one of my least favorite seasons. And the way that I'm talking about it right now, you wouldn't think so, but it's because of little practices like this that has helped me realize that spring might be one of my favorite seasons, believe it or not. I don't know. But yeah, try to do that. And I know I just said to get off your phone, but I do recommend you downloading the Merlin app. And this is kind of like a bird identification app. It's really smart, it's super cool, but it's also very simple and intuitive in just a couple of buttons on an app. So essentially what you do, if you are hearing birds singing or if you see birds outside while you're walking, you can go into the app and you can either identify through images, like if you're looking at the bird and you can see and you can identify it through image, you can do that. But my favorite thing to do in the app is to identify by sound. So again, if you're hearing the birds singing, you can just press a button in the Merlin app. It will listen to the song of the bird and it will identify the bird that is around you. So if you don't necessarily see the birds, you will find out what the birds are. This is very nerdy, I'm sure, and maybe also kind of like old school, but I find it to be super fun, and I also find it to be something that helps me ground myself in the present time as opposed to always thinking about something in the future or something in the past, or my head is in my phone and not really embracing what's going around presently in front of me. Okay, the next idea I know I've mentioned before, but try planting something. And the reason why I bring this up again in today's video, even though I've mentioned it many times before, is because I think it's important to try something like this, even if you don't have a green thumb, even if you are hesitant, you've killed so many plants in the past. I think it's important, and it's an important lesson in teaching yourself patience, in teaching yourself to be present and really focus in on the present moment. I think gardening requires a lot of patience, and a lot of us these days don't have the patience for it, which is why we end up killing our plants or forgetting our plants. We are so busy thinking about other things that we forget to think of the moment of where our plants need attention and love and all of those things. So trying your hand at planting something this spring might help you slow down your pace, literally slow down your pace. And again, you don't need to have a green thumb. You don't need to have a backyard. You don't need to have a garden. You can truly start with a pot with a seed in it. And I do recommend trying basil as your first plant if you really are starting from scratch with planting, because basil is almost impossible to kill. Coming from someone who was not a green thumb kind of person in the past, basil was always my go-to. Okay, and then the last idea I think I've mentioned before, but I have specifics for you. It is to make a spring treat. Now, a lot of these tips that I'm mentioning to you, they might not be super comfy to you, they might be comfy to you, but I'm putting in specifics for this video so that I can actually challenge you to do something very specific. Usually when I do videos like this, I keep it open for your interpretation, but I am challenging you this time to do something specific, such as make a carrot cake, a lemon blueberry cake, or a brown butter pistachio cake. Pick one of the three and then find a good recipe. If you need recipes from my brain, let me know. I can always send suggestions, but try one of those three because they are very seasonal, they are very springy. And if you don't like carrot cake, I challenge you to try a recipe that you might end up, changing your mind about that, because I have done a lot of that kind of work when it comes to the spring season, challenging myself and telling myself, like, be open to change and open to things that you didn't like in the past. And here I am now saying that spring is one of my favorite seasons. So give it a try. If you don't like cream cheese icing, you can do vanilla icing. If you don't like lemon blueberry, just try blueberry or just lemon. If you don't like brown butter, just go with pistachio and maybe add chocolate chips to it. I don't know. Try to be a little bit creative, but still try to stick to a little bit of structure here so that you can actually challenge yourself. Okay, friends, so those are my 5 ideas for you to slow down this spring. Let me know if any of these are interesting or resonating with you in the comments. I would love to know what you're jumping into. I would love to know which cake you're gonna pick. That's actually very, very important to me. So please let me know which one you are going with. I haven't made any of these cakes before, or at least not in a long time. I do remember maybe 10 years ago, I made a lemon blueberry loaf. It was like a lemon blueberry yogurt cake. And oh my gosh, everybody talked about it for years and years and years. So maybe I need to jump into that again. Or maybe I'll try to challenge myself and do the carrot cake, because I don't think I've ever made a carrot cake before. But anyway, you let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. Happy spring. Let me know if spring is your favorite or maybe your least favorite. Have a great season, and I will talk to you in the next video.